Hi, this is Michael with Peace and Favor, where we challenge you to be the best version of yourself. Thanks for taking time to watch the video. Today, I've got a challenge not only for you, but for me as well. I'm going to try to push through this as quickly as possible and try not to show a whole lot of bias, because that's what this is going to be about. I'm going to be talking about barbarians, brutes, versus the civilized and cultured man and woman. I'm going to say some things that may not fit your situation, may not fit anyone's situation, but I'm just trying to get you to think. I'm not trying to convince you to go on one side or another. I just want you to think and consider that there's maybe more to people than what you think. That your initial idea or your initial view of them is not necessarily the whole picture. Even how they present themselves is only a part of the picture. So again, being a barbarian, a brute, versus being civilized and cultured. All right. One of the challenges we have, especially now, is that we're always trying to put people into buckets. We want to be able to, like, say this person fits this label. Like, we put the label on them and we got them. We can always know who they are. So like they're MAGA, okay, boom. And we know everything about them because they're MAGA, which is of course not accurate, all right? Or we'll say they're a lib, bleeding heart liberal, whatever, and boom, put that label on them. But again, while that may be true under some topics, it's not true of everything about that person. As humans, we're multifaceted, we complex. Okay, I'm extremely loving, but some of y'all I can't stand. All right, I mean, like, you make me want to puke. I just want to punch you in the face. And that's the effect I have on some people. Some people want to hug me. Some people want to choke me out. All right, and it's like, it's okay. That's fine. All right. What I try to do is I try to identify those who are trying to do me harm and keep distance from that. All right, and I get love from those who give me love. All right. If I see one of those who want to hurt me, then I prepare myself to protect myself. All right. And that's fine. All right. But that's part of being a human being. Throughout history, that's what we've done. Protect ourselves and our own. All right. And again, part of the civilization part is, since we're going to be around other people, we have to learn how to navigate in community. All right. And so a barbarian, of course, is, first thing came to mind was caveman. All right. And where it's literal, I need to live. I need to do whatever I need to do to live. All right. So I'm looking for food, shelter, sex. All right. And I will protect those that are mine. All right. And that's what I'll do. And if it comes down to there's a situation and I have to do something, I may protect me more than I'm protecting somebody else, because I want to live through the situation. If I have someone who is close to me, a family member, and we're in a dangerous situation, there's also someone who's a non-family member in this situation with us, I'm going to give preference to the family member. And as a brute, I have certain things, like, for instance, let's say that I see someone coming towards me. All right. If I don't know you, you're a threat. All right. And one of my first thoughts is, I need to get you before you get me. That's brutish thinking. That's how barbarians are. Because if I don't act first, you're going to get me and I lose what I got, including my life. Then the flip side is the civilized approach. All right. Where I see you coming and I don't know you. I'm still nervous, but there's a possibility that you may actually be an ally, a friend I just haven't met yet. All right. In other words, you're not trying to cause trouble. You're not trying to beat me over the head. All right. And take what I got. All right. You're just looking for connection. You're looking for village. All right. But I will warily approach you. But I'm looking in my back of my mind saying, I'm hoping this is an ally versus an enemy. All right, because we can get more done together than working against each other. And someone is coming to threaten you, would you rather have a civilized person in your camp or a brute in your camp? Oh, you want a brute now? Why? Because the brute will go out and do some damage. Okay, we need people in our group who will do some damage. Just go ahead, wreak havoc. Thank you very much for the good of the group. All right. But also, we need the civilized in our group. All right. Who are the civilized? They're the ones who are going to try to negotiate with people, try to connect with people, try to find a mutually satisfying solution to situations. When it comes to conflict, if you're coming as a brute or a barbarian, might makes right, okay? It's my job, my role, is to dominate you. And if you submit, then you deserve to serve. So I'm going to try to intimidate, okay? All right? I'm going to try to intimidate you. And if you submit, that's where you're supposed to be. All right? That's how life is. If I can dominate you, I deserve to be over you. And as you look around life, you will find many people who are like that. They're all about the dominance. Beyond anything else, it's all about power and control. All right. Then you have the civilized person. They're looking to bring people together. All right. How can we work out situations that are mutually beneficial? And you come into some situations where it's going to take a while to even get to that point where you're having a discussion. All right. And so when they meet people, their thing is, I want no problems. Okay, I want no problems. How can we get along here? Can we just get along? All right. And if that is their primary thought, I don't want any problems. If there's a brute in the crowd, guess who's going to end up leading? The brute. Why? Because the so-called civilized people are going to melt back. Why? We don't want no problems. The same person, i.e. me, can be a barbarian and civilized. The barbarian is about themselves. All right? I'm getting mine. It's up to you to get yours. You work it out. All right? That's not my concern. If I knock you down on the way to get something, that's your problem, not mine. Okay? If I do something and it adversely impacts you, you should have done a better job. Don't blame me for your own shortcomings. All right, it's not my fault that you weren't successful. If I do something that hurts you or yours, it's like, that's on you. Don't blame me. I'm doing what I need to do to take care of my family and mine, me and mine. Meanwhile, the civilized person, again, the reason that we're trying to be civilized, are encouraged, are raised, or socialized to be civilized is because we no longer live in small little groups anymore. We live in groups of thousands now, hundreds, thousands, and yea, even millions. And so we have to give up some of our aggression, some of our selfishness, to cooperate within a group. If that is a social contract we built, where we will cooperate, that's wonderful as far as or until someone decides that does not apply to me. Those people we call criminals because they violate laws, social norms. They're barbarians. They're just human, all right? And the more people you have together, the more laws, guidelines, rules we establish, because it takes more guidelines and rules, because there are more of us trying to get along, trying to make things happen. That's a society we built, okay? But if you have people who are struggling to survive, can't meet their basic needs, what's the benefit of trying to act more civilized? Because the more civilized you are, the more you give up. Hear what I'm saying? Civilized people believe they gain more by cooperating. Barbarians believe they lose by cooperating because they have to have the control. They are about dominance. And each one of us are both of those people. We are raised to cooperate. But at the same time, we see who is successful. And who is the most successful? The go-getters, the grinders, those who push past, who challenge all the rules. All right? You can cooperate. Most of the people around you cooperate. They do what they're supposed to do the right thing. And I can promise you, most people around you are screwed over. All right? Again, I'm not trying to convince you to go to one side or the other side of the fence, because in actuality, there is no fence. We're always moving, okay, depending on the situation. All right? My point was this. No one is just one thing. We're complex people. We are the barbarian. We are civilized. And there's value to both. But whether I'm civilized or barbarian, that does not tell you my motivation, why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you sit down and talk with someone, that's when you find out both of you are doing this for your family. Both of you are doing this to have a better life. It's the how you're going about it that you disagree with. And that's where we have plenty of room to get along, to work out something. All right, but you can't do it if you're constantly throwing the labels on each other. Just because someone is different doesn't make them a threat. They're just different. Look in your own family. Good Lord. Look at the diversity in your own family. I'm not talking about skin color, even though you could. I'm not talking about education, even though you could. I'm talking about the way you think, how you approach things. Every family I know got some pervert in it, got a few idiots, got knuckleheads, criminals. You got people who are, you got a couple of geniuses rolling up in there, academians, you have people who are convinced, they got 5 degrees, dumb as rocks now, got no common sense, but they got 5 degrees. All right, but it's just a normal family. And when you deal with those same people, same types of people outside of your family, you despise them. But you learn to put up with them in your family. And our thing is, we're all human beings. And every wall that we build that separates us, it just hurts us. It makes us less of a people. And we're going to take care of our own. But again, this is food for thought. Give some grace. But also realize, just because you're right, don't mean you're right, okay? And that person out there that is so offensive to you and going about things the way you would never do it, check out what they're actually trying to accomplish and who's benefiting. And you may actually share some of the same motivations. You're just doing it very, very differently. All right? I'm not saying you're going to like them. You probably won't. All right? But you'll get an understanding. And if you sit down, you'll find that you have common ground. The thing is, we don't talk to see how we have common ground. Because there's so many of us, we don't need to talk to each other. All right? Because we're connected with millions, we forget how to talk one-on-one. Okay? To deal with each other across the table. And I hope that this type of conversation will be something that'll help in the future. Anyways, this is Michael with Peace and Favor. God bless.